Good morning, USA! Unshaved, unbathed, unedited, but a little bit scripted today. I want to get right to a conversation I was having yesterday with Victor Tiffany, founder of the bernieorbust movement. I'm working on an article. How can I do this? I'm working on an article to get the word out about Victor's concern with media coverage. He's finding it difficult to get some of the solid progressive commentators he knows to cover the Bernie or Bust movement. He keeps volunteering to be a guest on their show, and he's had conversations and has appeared on some of these shows before in the previous election cycle. But now it seems like people are putting Bernie or Bust on the back burner. In our conversation yesterday, we came to the idea of maybe that journalists are afraid. I said probably that they're afraid. Bernie or Bust terrifies people because they realize that diehard Democrats are at least as stubborn and bigoted as Republicans. Many Democrats don't see endorsing someone like Bernie or Tulsi as winning because of their tribalistic thinking. Because both Bernie and Tulsi think outside of the two-party box. They both realize it's just one party disguised as two parties. Democrats' tendency to be stubborn and terrified, coupled with their willingness to protect their privilege by protecting the status quo, at least for the last 50 years or so, is why true progressives are willing to throw them all overboard if necessary. Personally, I'm more than a little disturbed by the seeming unwillingness of some otherwise extremely courageous political commentators. I'm not going to call them out yet by name, but the book, Bernie or Bust, Pioneers of Electoral Revolt, this book, yes, life-changing book here. This book tells you who the good media sources are, and so I will call you out by name as time goes on if you keep back burnering the Bernie or Bust movement. Back burnering. I amaze myself. Yes, the snarling Democrats that I mentioned in a previous episode, we shouldn't be tiptoeing around them. We need to put these ideas. These ideas here are some ideas I put in front of one of my, I was going to say friends. I would say, I still think of him as a friend, but he's one of those snarling Democrats. This was my response to a longtime political vote blue no matter who acquaintance. He still insists that the time to unite behind Bernie, or Biden if he has his wish, is if Bernie wins the primary. Dear Evan G., the DNC has been tweaking its process over the last 100 years or so to make it difficult for populist insurgents. I can show you that in another episode, but it's easy to make the case. It's easy to show how the Democrats have been rigging the process against insurgents for a long time. I predicted, what did I predict? I confidently predicted last time that a populist would win the general election. That prediction came quite early in the race, if you remember. I warned you that the general population will not accept the status quo. Democrats who seek to defend the status quo are on the wrong side of history. The reason we need to get this decided now is because of a hard fact that many suburban elitist Democrats simply refused to accept last time, and it's even more true this time. You can either have Trump or you can have Bernie, or Tulsi if it comes to that. If you hold out for a neoliberal corporatist, you are sealing your own fate. You will have Trump just like last time. If status quo Dems continued their delusions until the end of the primary race and fail to unite now behind Bernie, and if the rigging of the ballot machines happens again, and if other items mentioned, this is a conversation we've had over some years now. If things work out as they did last time, you will end up with Trump. This may not bother you. It didn't bother you enough last time. If you truly wish to avoid the orange menace, simply do the math and come around sooner rather than later. If CNN presidential polling calls you on your landline, tell them that because of the new political landscape, it has become necessary to unite the party behind a candidate that will not be rejected again by the left flank. This little graphic, this is Victor Tiffany. He has an article that I'll show you in a second that's about math. Do the math. Voting for a neoliberal will get you Trump. Here is some of the evidence. It shows you how, and I showed you this in a previous episode, how Sanders voters voted in the general election in 2016. I made the point then that quite a number of them were willing to vote directly for Trump if Sanders was not the nominee. And then this is more than a few of my friends again. It's not true. It's not true. I must vote blue no matter who, with their hands over their ears. This page is about the math. It's the citizensagainstplutocracy.org. I lied. citizensagainstplutocracy.wordpress.com, and I can link this in the information section under the video. Down there. Math. The American people have locked themselves into a two-party mental prison. Because of that, Trump will either be reelected and he or Pence will be replaced by a Democrat. The question Democrats are asking themselves is, who is best suited to defeat a sitting president running on a strong and growing economy? The vote blue no matter who folks will vote for Bernie Sanders. They say so. The Bernieorbust folks will not support a neoliberal centrist ever again. They say so. The Bernie or Trump folks will vote for a fascist if Bernie is not the nominee. They tell pollsters so. Do the math. A united Democratic Party has a much better chance at defeating Trump than one divided, where 8+% of one candidate's supporters refuse to support any other candidate except for the one or two they are pledged to support. And that's where the Bernie or Bust pledge comes in. Or getting your bumper sticker, that's probably just as good as pledging. And all of that is here. And on the other page I just mentioned, citizensagainstplutocracy.org. And there you can get your bernieorbust.info bumper sticker and your book. All right, I'll leave you with that. And this beautiful, beautiful tribute to Bernie Sanders.
Let me tell you why I chose to be a strong supporter for Bernie. For me, it's personal. Tomorrow will be exactly 8 years to the day that my dad passed away at 56 years old from heart disease. I know for a fact had he been able to have the proper health care, he would be standing right in this crowd today watching me perform. Layer on the beat, boy. Name another politician that you know that this consistent. This persistence for the people, education, make a difference. Share the fight for 15 and equality for women, comprehensive immigration, and a real black agenda. Medicare for all, yeah, you start to get the message. Standing tall, our revolution's calling for the rights of all. No dreams too big or small for me. Standing tall, our revolution's calling for the rights of all. No dreams too big or small for me. Don't you worry about the swag. Matter of fact, you can put it on my tab. We counting every vote, they think they got it in the bag. $27 and they still getting mad. So progressive and we never gon' let up. burn the establishment. I'm screaming from the neck up. This is our time. This is our fight. These are my kids. This is my life. This ain't about the left. This ain't about the right. Nobody cares if your MAGA hat's on tight. Your little baby still yelling for the wall still, while the poor still trying to pay their light bill. 40 hours got them begging for a living wage. Vietnam vets still trying to see a better day. Instead of crying in the ocean full of misery, we gon' stand tall with the burn, making history.
Senator Sanders stood up, but he didn't have to stand up as a young man. The way to define the character of a person is what they do when the cameras are not on, what they do when they don't benefit from it personally. He is a champion for civil rights and social justice in this country. The time is right and the cause is now. Senator Sanders understands that we as a country, Black, white, Asian, Native American, young, seasoned, Muslim, Christian, Jew, Gentile, atheist, all of us together. All of us together. All of us together.
For the rights of all, no dreams too big or small for me. Standing tall, our revolution's call.